around me and behind me and in front of me is all my elk gear for this upcoming year, and we're going to walk through it starting with my emergency kit. In this is a splint, a tourniquet, Benadryl, Tylenol, water tablets, my fire kit, bandages, quick clot, and you can find all of this stuff on the link tree in the hunt detail profile. You'll find all of this stuff if you just go to that on Instagram. Also have a small fire kit which has like quick fire, a plasma lighter, and a Bic lighter, as well as some waterproof matches. And so I've got that, even and a little thing of wet fire in there. So that's sort of my emergency kit. My electronics kit includes I believe it's a 20,000 amp My Charge. I could be way off on that. I've got my Zoleo, and then this is a battery charger for my phone that clips onto the back of it. So it'll have cables in here to charge my phone, stuff like that. I like these little pouches from Marsupial Gear. They're stretch material, and they're really kind of perfect for your separate kits. This kit is my kill kit, and I've got a small work sharp stone here, some flagging tape. I do have some bandages and quick clot in here just in case I stab myself. This is a Gerber knife that has large blades. I have a small Gerber as well. I think this is a Vital. And these are both replaceable blades, but I can also sharpen them with the sharpener. We've got some gloves and some other items in there. So from a standpoint of headlamps and light, I've got a Peaks headlamp here. I like the Peaks because the red light is very bright. It does lock, and it has a long battery life. And so I tend to use this that I purchased off of Amazon for $10 as my primary light, and have this as a backup, because if there's some sort of emergency, I'd rather have the Peaks, and it also locks, whereas this one does not. So that's what I do from a headlamp standpoint. This is my bino harness. I have a 10x42 set of binos in here, nothing fancy. I like the Alaska Guide Creations Ravis, I believe, because of the MOLLE paneling on the front and on the back and on the bottom. I can really customize it. It's not as sleek as some of the other bino harnesses out there, but it works for me. From a calling standpoint, I cannot use an internal reed. I've tried it, and it just hasn't worked. And so this is the Phelps game call. I can't remember. I think it's called a V2, but it has an external reed, and it sounds outstanding. And I'll be using that this year. And then this is a Quaker Boy cow call, and then this is another Phelps Easy Sucker. And I like to carry two different cow calls because you want to sound like two different cows. You might want to sound like a calf. The Easy Sucker sounds more like a calf to me, and then you just want to have multiple sounds going. I do like to use I like to have a decoy with me. I think this is from Montana Decoy. I could be wrong. Oh no, this is a heads up decoy. And I think if you're in the midst of elk that are bedded, or something catches you find elk and you don't want to get busted and you want to cover your movement, this is a great way to do that. When it comes to, I also have a solar panel here. This is from Molson. I got this off Amazon, and it works pretty well. It's not probably the best one out there. I've had this for a number of years, but it works pretty well. From a sleep standpoint, I've got this is a Featherstone backbone two-person tent. It's a trekking pole tent, and it's going to provide me a little bit more room than the one-person tent that I used last year. Now this is it's relatively light. This is not a hunting company. but I found a solid deal on this, and I'm excited about using this year. I have two pretty inexpensive trekking poles. These are Cabela Specials. These have gone to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and back. I've used these for multiple elk hunts, all kinds of different hunts, and they've worked just fine. You don't need to spend a lot of money on trekking poles. From a cook system standpoint, this is the Jetboil Minimo, I believe, and I like this because it's a little bit more compact and you can simmer with it. And I did a test earlier on this channel, and I like it. It's very efficient. It gets water to boil very quickly if I want to do that, or if I want to cook using that system, I can at different temperatures. This is my part of, I guess, my kill kit. It's got a piece of Tyvek. I've got some Argali game bags here. I like the Argali game bags. I've done a review on this channel on these game bags. And in fact, I think 15 other game bags as well. And I like these the most because they just have they provide the best value. They have they have highlight or lighted tab areas, good rope system, and good size. So this would be shrink wrapped in my pack because I'm not gonna. I want it to have as little space in my pack as possible. But that's part of the kill kit. Now with the Tyvek, you could use just one single piece of Tyvek for where you camp, and then of course if you kill, you can use that same piece as from a ground cloth perspective. You can use that for elk quarters. Now also a little piece of gear that I've used over the past few years is this is a Lucy light. This is solar powered. It's a really nice camp light. It can hang in your tent or outside your tent. And then I picked up something else this year that is this is from I can't quite remember the name of the company, but this is a hammock light that's used for it's a piece of rope with LED lights in it, and you can stretch this around your camp, and it's actually a really nice way to, if you get back to your camp late, or if you're tearing it down early, you can use this and not necessarily use your headlamp. There's a little bit of a weight penalty, but this is a hammock light, and again, I can't remember the manufacturer, but really nice addition, I think, to my camp, because I'm either leaving when it's dark or coming back when it's dark, and I like to have not necessarily use my headlamp for that. So from a water standpoint, this is from HydroPack. This is a 1 liter water bottle with a filter built into it, and I like to have this as an option where I can scoop water and drink immediately and not wait on some sort of squeeze filter or gravity filter. Now, while I'm sleeping or while I'm hunting, I do want to be making water, and the way I do that is with this 6 liter gravity bag or gravity filtration system. This is actually from Membrane Solutions. There's a couple other versions or iterations of this, but it's essentially you scoop your water with this, your dirty water. This is your tube that you feed down, and then I'm connecting this to I have two 6 liter HydroPack bags, which these are incredibly durable. You've got a handle here, you've got a spigot. This is where it goes in. You also have a nice lid here that opens up wide if you want to do that. And then it's got some molly looping here where you could strap it to the outside of your bag if you need to. But I have 2 of these, and the idea is that while got one with me while I'm hunting, the other one's getting filled while I'm hunting, because the whole water chore is a real chore, and you wanna have a process or an efficient way to do that. From a food standpoint, I use a dehydrator to make a lot of my food. This is a fruit leather. It's basically applesauce and sweet potato. This is dehydrated venison and elk and some vegetables. I think maybe some rice is mixed in here, and it's much better than buying even like a peak refuel, which is fine. I just much rather have this and then add like a little packet of olive oil to this, and it's just killer. I mean, it's absolute killer. This is a SteriPen. This is obviously part of the water system. I'm going to have some bone broth or some raw rev bars or some other snacks as part of my food. That'll all be around 20. I think I'm targeting 2,500 calories this year with each day, and all that food will be shrunk wrapped into one big bag and it'll have day 1, day 2, day 3, and it'll be packaged that way. So it's not just a big grab bag of food. I want it to be put together. So this is a tarp. This is Dyneema. I believe this is 8x10, and I can't quite remember the manufacturer. I want to say it's Dutchware is the manufacturer. And I like to have a tarp because if it's raining or if I want to put additional coverage over my tent or what have you. This is a Kelty sleeping bag. This is, I think, a 20-degree bag. And so nothing fancy. I believe it is natural down. I could be wrong, but usually during the elk season it's not too wet, so having something with a natural fill is not necessarily a bad thing. If it was a really wet area, maybe along the West Coast, maybe Oregon, that sort of thing, I might opt for something synthetic. This is just a cheap seat pad that I bought off of actually Walmart, probably I think $7. And so from a clothing perspective, simple ball cap, toboggan. These are some darn tough boot socks. I like a cloth belt that cinches down, so as I lose weight or gain weight, I can just cinch it accordingly. And a cloth belt, it's not cutting into my waist when I'm hiking like a leather belt might. This is a pair of Wrangler hiking pants from Walmart. They're about $25. They're a mix of nylon and spandex, 96% nylon, 4% spandex. Very stretchy, great pocket configuration. Got some cargo pockets here. Very durable, very inexpensive. You don't have to spend a ton on that stuff. From a rain gear perspective, I have a simple Eddie Bauer rain jacket that has armpit zips here, so you can it has lots of pockets, and I like the armpit zips so I can vent some heat. But it's just a simple jacket. I don't bring a lot of rain gear because I'm not going to be hunting in the rain. If I'm hunting in the rain and I shoot something, I'm not going to get a blood trail, and it's really could create a bad situation. So I'm really just bringing the rain jacket just to keep me dry if a storm comes through and I need to hunker down. But it's not a situation where I'm bringing a lot of ultra heavy duty rain gear. From a layer standpoint, this is a simple layer that a light merino layer from Kuiu that's hooded. I like the hooded. It's a 3/4 zip, and it does have a chest pocket. And I can't quite remember. This is 145 weight. This is new yarn merino wool. I also have a First Light sawtooth, and I've had this for a number of years. I got this on clearance, I think from Dick's, and it was like $75, and it was a pretty good deal. I like this a lot because it's a little bit thicker. It also has a little bit of water protection on the shoulders, or a little bit of water resistance. But that's something I've used a ton. And then this is a Kuyu, I think it's a Kenai. I could be mispronouncing that, but it's a puffy jacket that the reason why I like this is it's probably not the warmest puffy jacket in the world, but it is pretty durable. I've used it for a number of years. It does keep me relatively warm, but it's so quiet. It's something that isn't making that. Now, obviously, it's not going to be waterproof, but if I pair that with that rain jacket, then I'm going to be fine in most situations. That rain jacket's going to work as a wind stop, and I'm just going to be just fine. So it's not, when you layer some of these things together, obviously, it makes, it enhances the capability of each of the pieces. So from a boot standpoint, these are some crispy Laponias. These are solid boots. I really like these. I pair them with a small gaiter that just goes over the ankle of the boot, and it keeps rocks and debris out. It keeps the boots tied. And this is a pair of gaiters from First Light. I don't want a full size over the calf gaiter because it just, to me, is a little too much, a little too hot. And I just want something simple to keep everything tight around my ankle and around my boots. And really, to close this out from a pack standpoint, this is the Kuyu, I think, Pro 5200. It's so it's got 5200 roughly cubic inches. It's a little on the small side, I think, but obviously you can expand this out and use the meat shelf if you need more space for your gear. But it's a fine pack. It's not. I've had this for several years, and I'm just refused to buy another pack. But this has worked fine. Is it perfect? Not by any means, but it's a fine pack. This is the actual frame, and I purchased a separate meat shelf to go with it if I just want to pack meat out and not use the bag. Obviously, the bag separates from the frame, but this separates and it's just the meat, and I like that as an option as well. So that really concludes what I'm going to be doing for elk this year. I mean, there might be a few things that I've missed, but I would encourage you to check out the list that I have on the Hunt Detail Instagram page. Just click on the link in the profile, and please like, share, subscribe. Best of luck this season.